You are listening to Fantha Tracks.
It's time to head south with the Fantha From Down Under. Here's your host, Adam O'Brien.
G'day mate, how you going? Welcome to the one and only Fantha From Down Under, brought to you by FanthaTracks.com and Fantha Tracks Radio. And of course you can catch this show monthly, and it will be covering everything of Star Wars from this end of the universe, and of course a little bit of commentary on what's happening in Star Wars in relation to, of course, Star Wars in Australia and Star Wars in my life as well. Down here in Australia, of course, we're going through Hoth-like situations where it's the coldest it's been, particularly before we get into the winter months. Autumn here, or fall as they say in the States, isn't usually this cold, but I can tell you we are starting to wear clothing that would assume we'd be on the Rebel Alliance forefront as those walkers were coming to us in Hoth. It's very close to that here, particularly if you're in the ACT or Victoria, where they've already got falling snow.
Close your eyes. Your eyes can deceive you. We must not trust them. Tell me what comes into your mind.
Life. Balance. I see fire.
Someone is killing Jedi. It doesn't make sense. What happened?
I sensed darkness. This isn't about good or bad. This is about power and who is allowed to use it.
What is that?
It is an exciting time to be, of course, a Star Wars fan. And we'll start our look at the news today with one of the new series coming out on June 4, Star Wars The Acolyte. The Acolyte is interesting because we're heading into an interesting time where we're exploring areas of the Star Wars universe, which we have not been in before. The first episode comes out on 4th of June 2024. Of course, this is the pilot episode, officially known as Star Wars The Acolyte, based on, of course, Star Wars by George Lucas. Cinematography by James Friend, and Chris Teague. Composer on this one is Michael Abels. The editor is Mika Leskinen. And this is an interesting series, which I think it being this new era of the High Republic. So we're at a time where Star Wars has the Jedi at their height, heading into a more complacent time in the prequel area where they're not really looking for Sith. And this might be just a little bit of an area into that. So the premise is the Acolyte is set at the end of High Republic era, which is the mainstay of the current novels on offer. And it is a pretty long series of books. You pretty much have to read all of them to get a sense of where things are. But the characters are very vivid, very well written series. I've read two of the books. And for the most part from fans that have read it that I know, have really enjoyed this series. But definitely an era which is interesting because it's more like King Arthur's knights. We're all out doing the errands of obviously being a Jedi and a Jedi Guardian. Something that kind of heads into the prequel trilogy. Obviously, one of those things being the era with the Sith. Now, the Sith are part of Darth Bane's line where he says, only two there will be. One, the apprentice, and one, the master. Obviously, that's something that's ongoing because before then, they were just killing each other, weren't they? It is crying shame that, you don't have more of them, but it works well for, of course, what we set into the Star Wars universe.
Hi, this is Neil Scanlon, and you're listening to Fantha Tracks.
This is before all the main Star Wars films and characters that we have. It's kind of a crime drama. It's one that's built around Jedi investigation. So we kind of got a Sherlock Holmes sort of twist to this. I think that's interesting for the Acolyte being kind of a procedural Jedi drama, like the police ones you see in the States or anywhere else, or Blue Heelers in Australia, any of those. It is one that's going to present crime, and the Jedi have to go and figure it out. And it's got a great cast. We've got Amandla Stenberg, Lee Jung-jae, Manny Jacinto, Daphne Keane, Charlie Barnett, Jodie Turner-Smith, Rebecca Henderson, Dean Charles Chapman, Jonas Suotamo. This time he's doing a Jedi Wookiee. Carrie Ann Moss from The Matrix. And this is something that's been cooking around for a while, as Headland's been wanting to do this and expressed interest since as far back as 2019. Of course, this is the height of when the Star Wars sequel trilogy was sort of wrapping up, and looks like it's kicked into gear in London at Shinfield Studios from October 22 to June 2023 last year. They also used parts of Wales and Portugal. You think about the prequel trilogy, using Italy and different parts of Europe, even Australia, obviously, too, for the studio spaces and stuff like that. It's interesting that they incorporating that regal look that they had, because, again, this is before all that manufactured sort of look that was going to be there, too.
For everything in one location, daily news, reviews, interviews, podcasts, video, and social media feeds, bookmark FanthaTracks.com for Star Wars news 24/7, 365.
Amandla Stenberg plays May, who's a former Padawan and is now this dangerous, mysterious warrior, for some reason out to cause a menace. Lee Jung-jae, a fantastic talent, which most of us know from a great show about a year or so ago now. What's great about the series itself, which once I mention the name, you'll know what I'm talking about, is it caught everyone unbeknownst to how good this is going to be. I was thinking, what is somebody like this not doing something bigger like the United States films or any international films? Obviously, he's pretty big in what he was doing too. Somebody that's got a real sense of not only drama but comedy as well. I think he was just fantastic in the role. What are we talking about? Squid Game. That's right, Squid Game. And I can remember every night after work coming home to watch another episode of it and really get wrapped into Lee Jung-jae's great work as a South Korean actor and filmmaker as well. He's an award winner, and he's somebody that's really got a sense of what the viewers want. It's interesting to now see him as a Jedi Master in this. So in this, he plays Sol, who's a well-respected Jedi Master. He's going to be one of the core in this that's sort of rocked by all the crimes that are happening and obviously murdering Jedi. Manny Jacinto plays Kumia, who's a former smuggler and now lives a life of leisure. We've got Daphne Keane, of course, from Logan, who plays Jackie Lon, who's Sol's young Padawan, so the current Padawan that he's got. Charlie Barnett plays Yord Fandar, a by-the-book Jedi Knight and one of the Temple Guardians in this. I think you see these characters in the trailer sort of going through, obviously, what's going on in the crimes that are being committed. Jodie Turner-Smith plays Mother Anasia, who's a lead of a coven of Force witches. So that's an interesting part. Obviously, the Mother Anasia is going to be, as a character, is going to be a temptress to those of the Force. Rebecca Henderson as Vanestra Roll, who's a senior member of the Jedi Order who rose to prominence as a young prodigy. Dean Charles Chapman and we've also Jonas Suotamo play Kelnaka, who's the Wookiee Jedi, who lives a solitary life by himself in this too. We've got the amazing Carrie Ann Moss. Anyone that grew up the time I did got a chance to see particularly the prominence of something like the Trinity character in The Matrix. I mean, she's the first part of the action in The Matrix. It's her trying to escape The Matrix and get back to the real world, where she's attacked by, of course, the agents, and we get to see her running across all the rooftops. She was such a big part of what made those films. I mean, as much as it was Morpheus or Neo and any of the others, it's such a wonderful role. One of the core, of course, of that series. It's just huge. So I've got a lot of time for, obviously, Carrie Ann's work and those that bagged out Matrix Resurrection, which I thought was actually a much smarter film than people gave it credit for, because the center of this, and it's a joke in the film as well. Like, if you didn't get the joke, then, mate, it's on you. But one of the interesting things about it is that it's literally a reboot within a reboot, but it's also a satire of The Matrix. And the fact that the chemistry was still there between her and Keanu Reeves as Trinity and Neo is, just a testament to these two.
Hi, this is Ethan Sachs, and you're listening to Fantha Tracks.
In this, she plays Indara, who's a Jedi Master. She's proficient in Force Fu. So I think a lot of this, as you can see some of it in the trailer, it's going to be wire work. It's going to be using the Force to pretty much do all that crazy kung fu style action. So a little bit more wushu is what we're going to see. The creator wanted the audience to immediately feel that Indara was the most powerful Jedi in the room, inspired by Trinity in the Matrix series. Again, they've put a quotation for it. Trinity with a lightsaber is what they were after. So, yes, this film has definitely got my interest. The series, I should say, not film. We'd love a film out there. Lucasfilm, if you're going to make a film and not put it on the shelf, please, I'd love to see it. Again, this is something that I think has the chance to really be something different, particularly with what they're trying to do, heading in a direction which has always been something I think they've needed to do, which is be removed from all the stuff that's out there. So, when it comes to the design of this, although the original trilogy and others had that earthiness that lived in quality, and of course the prequel trilogy was, had everything from Art Nouveau to all the sleekness of it. And I think the further back you go, is what Leslie Headland was saying, the more exciting, new and sleek and interesting things look. It's bringing back that design factor even more so, and really to be, really shown out a little bit more. It was a time to really celebrate what it was to be Jedi as well. I think that's what makes it so interesting too. So to see where this goes and, where it gets, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see, particularly this series can give us something completely fresh and new and reinvigorate people's interest in Star Wars from before the prequels.
Well, that's all we have time for here tonight on the Fantha From Down Under. And we'll catch you next time. Same place, same channel, and of course, with more Star Wars news in a single file from FanthaTracks.com's Australian edition. That's right, we'll catch you next time. So, until then, may the Force be with you, and enjoy your Star Wars fandom. We'll see you next time.
Warning, no tauntauns were harmed in the filming and recording of this podcast.
Coming up next on Fantha Tracks Radio, it's Making Tracks.